Good morning. Somebody said they missed seeing the pups. So, yeah, you got crazy pup. Okay, ready to get down, bub? He can't hear me. He's deaf. He's like, whoa, that was a treat. Okay, which was the camera? There we go. Good morning. The Friday 5 went out this morning, and I already got a reply from someone saying, can you please talk about leptospirosis vaccine? And I've talked about this before, but I'm happy to do it again. A friend of hers in North Wales, Pennsylvania, and that's not that far from here. It's sort of middle eastern Pennsylvania. Her friend's veterinarian is recommending that her cavalier get a series of 2 leptospirosis vaccines. And this particular follower that emailed me, she has a holistic veterinarian who does not recommend vaccinating her cavalier. So yay for that veterinarian. I am not a fan of the leptospirosis vaccine. So leptospirosis is a small organism. It's not really a virus. It's not a bacteria. It's a spirochete, which I would say is closer to a bacteria than a virus because it does respond to treatment with antibiotics. Leptospirosis is spread through urine, particularly the urine of rats, raccoons, skunks, fox, and dairy cattle. So it tends to be found in areas where there's a lot of stagnant water, so ponds, puddles, lakes that are not moving. If you're near a fast-flowing stream, it doesn't tend to be as much of a problem because it gets washed away. We see minimal leptospirosis in our area, and there are occasional pockets of outbreaks. There was an outbreak in New Jersey a couple of summers ago, and this is something that we see a lot more in the summer where there's a lot of standing water. The outbreak in New Jersey a couple of years ago was actually in Hoboken, which is a city right across the river from New York City, and the problem there was rats. And if you live in a city, you may actually have a bigger exposure than those of us who were rural, but we don't have standing water, so it's not an issue for us. My recommendation, if you live in the city, in general, is put boots on your dogs before you take them out for walks. Use the walkie paws, use some other sort of slip-on boot. I would not want my dog walking barefoot in the city through Lord knows what and then sleeping in my bed with me. That's just my personal feeling. But if you can, so, you know, if you use some sort of boots or protection, you're going to be fine. And certainly don't let your dogs lick things off the sidewalk or out of puddles, which is just nasty anyway. I mean, I won't let our dogs drink out of puddles if we're on a walk around here. So, the vaccine protects against 4 of the newer vaccine, protects against 4 of the varieties of lepto that our pets can be exposed to. There are actually 7 that they can be exposed to. And the vaccine is highly reactive. We get many more allergic reactions to that vaccine than to any other vaccine that we give. Especially in small dogs, toxins, forget it, they're going to blow up. I will not give it to a dog under 10 pounds in my practice, and I don't recommend it for most of my patients. We have a conversation with every pet owner when it comes to vaccines, and we ask about their exposure. For hunting dogs that are out in the field and they're going through ponds and puddles and streams, and certainly they're off leads, so you can't control what they might drink out of, maybe we'll consider it for those dogs. A special shout out, speaking of hunting dogs, to Judy and Stephen Ware. Stephen is in the hospital after suffering a stroke, expected to recover. They're local. They have German pointers, I believe. Great folks, and so special shout out to him that we're thinking of you. So it's a conversation to have with your veterinarian about exposure. Listen, if you're like us and you have cavaliers that are laying around the house, or any small dog that lays around the house most of the time, goes out in your backyard that doesn't have standing water, you don't have a ton of wildlife coming, so don't feed the raccoons, don't encourage them to come up and pee on your deck where your dogs are going to be. if they have minimal exposure, why would you vaccinate them? So it really is a conversation. The vaccine is not a very good vaccine. The protection that it offers is not 100%. It only lasts for anywhere from 8 to 12 months. So it is something that you have to get every single year if you were in a high-risk situation and decide to get it. It certainly is not required by any government authority. And I've never talked to anyone where they said they were required to get it for daycare boarding, but you never know. Actually, no, New York City. I have talked to daycare owners there, and they say that the city requires it. I'm not really sure. I'm not up on New York law, but that's going to be different for every situation. So really, it's a conversation to have. And don't get talked into something that you really think your pet doesn't need. And if you have more questions, there's a lot of information in the From Needles to Natural book. The vaccine chapter and the parasite chapter in that book are the two biggest chapters, because I had to talk about every single vaccine that was available at the time the book was written in 2014. But I have a great discussion on all those vaccines and what the risk situations are and why you would or would not. And I'm going to steer toward would not want to give each of the individual vaccines that are discussed in the book. So hopefully that's helpful. Hopefully, I think, what was her name? I think it was Marley. Hopefully you can share this with your friend who is questioning whether or not she should get the vaccine that her veterinarian is pushing. And hopefully this will help. Okay, I got a consultation to do. I got a bunch of work to do. And it's Friday. Oh, supporters, see you tonight. We're going to do some case studies.